What if the next big AI breakthrough is a failure? Meta just hit pause on Behemoth, its most advanced AI model yet, because it couldn't beat the old one. In Texas, a school has quietly replaced teachers with AI, and their students are outperforming nearly everyone in the country. And while billion-dollar labs hit roadblocks, young people are quietly building a future where AI isn't a tool, it's a lifestyle. This isn't about where AI is going next. It's about who's already there, from stalled progress at big tech to shocking success in the classroom, to a generation treating ChatGPT like a second brain. This is what happens when AI stops being a trend and becomes reality. Let's get into it. Meta's flagship AI model, codenamed Behemoth, was supposed to mark a turning point in the global AI arms race. But now, it's become the centerpiece of a very different story. According to the Wall Street Journal, Meta has quietly delayed the public release of Behemoth, pushing it from a spring debut to sometime later this year. And the reason? Engineers reportedly haven't been able to generate meaningful performance gains over previous versions. Internally, the mood is tense. Executives are said to be frustrated with the AI product team's progress, and the delay has triggered serious conversations about restructuring the group altogether. Sources inside Meta describe a growing disconnect between the company's public optimism and the private reality of what Behemoth can actually deliver. And while Meta has claimed that Behemoth outperforms OpenAI and Google's models on several benchmarks, insiders paint a more complicated picture, citing persistent training challenges, unreliable outputs, and a general lack of leapfrogging innovation. What's especially striking is that this isn't just a Meta problem. In the past few months, both OpenAI and Anthropic have also experienced model delays and bottlenecks, suggesting that we may be entering a new phase of AI development, one where future breakthroughs become harder to achieve and exponentially more expensive. That context makes Meta's $72 billion in annual capital expenditures feel even riskier. Behemoth wasn't just a model. It was supposed to be a cornerstone of Meta's AI strategy, powering everything from generative assistants in WhatsApp and Instagram to new cloud services for developers and enterprise clients. As Meta stalls, competitors are accelerating. OpenAI is teasing the imminent launch of GPT 4.5 or GPT-5. Google is expanding Gemini across its product suite. And in China, companies like Baidu and Alibaba are pouring resources into training their own foundational models, some of which are already being deployed at scale. Meta can't afford to fall behind. But if Behemoth fails to meet expectations when it finally does launch, it could damage confidence in the company's long-term AI roadmap, especially among investors already wary of Meta's spending spree in the metaverse and beyond. And here's the broader takeaway. The AI industry may be nearing the edge of another threshold, one where brute force scaling is no longer enough, and real progress demands more than just compute power. Meta's Behemoth delay is a signal. The era of easy wins in AI might be coming to an end. And speaking of radical departures from the norm, what happens when a school decides to replace every teacher with AI? In an age where trillion-dollar companies are struggling to push the limits of AI, one private school in Texas is doing something that sounds almost impossible. It's already using AI to replace human teachers. And according to the school, it's working better than anyone expected. There are no traditional lectures, no chalkboards, and most surprisingly, no full-time teachers. Instead, students use AI-powered tutors for just 2 hours a day, focused, personalized, and fully adaptive. These systems track individual learning speeds, identify knowledge gaps in real time, and guide students through challenging concepts with step-by-step prompts. It's like having a private tutor for every child, trained on the best pedagogical data in the world. And the rest of the school day, it's spent on something most classrooms ignore: real-world life skills. From public speaking and leadership to team collaboration and financial literacy, students work on projects designed to prepare them for actual adult life, not just standardized tests. But here's the part that's turning heads. It's not just theory. Alpha students are reportedly performing in the top 2% nationally on standardized assessments. Some complete an entire year of core curriculum in under 90 days. And average SAT scores have soared to around 1470, a level usually reserved for elite prep schools. Now, to be clear, this isn't some automated dystopia where kids are taught by robots behind glass screens. The school employs guides instead of teachers, mentors who manage emotional well-being, offer encouragement, and lead hands-on discussions after the AI learning sessions. In other words, it's not humanless. It's just teacherless in the traditional sense. Critics have raised eyebrows over the school's $40,000 tuition and the lack of long-term studies. But the results so far? They're hard to ignore. If this model scales, we could be looking at the first major reinvention of K-12 education in over a century. One where personalized AI, not standardized testing, drives outcomes. And one where the teacher's role evolves into something more like a life coach or creative mentor. Alpha School might not be the end of human teachers, but it could be the beginning of something radically different. And that brings us to a much bigger trend, because while schools are adapting fast, younger generations are already way ahead. While institutions are still figuring out how to integrate AI into daily life, one group isn't waiting for permission. Young people have already moved in. According to OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, the most advanced users of ChatGPT aren't tech professionals or Fortune 500 executives. They're college students, 20-somethings, and digital native millennials, people who've started using AI not just as a productivity tool, but as a life operating system. In a recent talk hosted by Sequoia Capital, Altman shared a powerful insight. There's a generational divide in how AI is used. Where older users tend to treat ChatGPT like a better search engine, young people are using it as an always-on, context-aware advisor. Not just how do I do this, but help me figure out who I am, what I want, and how to get there. They're building entire workflows around AI, memorizing prompt libraries, like their cheat codes, feeding AI tools multiple connected documents to preserve long-term context, and even asking ChatGPT for input on major life decisions, from career shifts to relationship advice. To many in Gen Z, ChatGPT isn't a chatbot. It's a trusted second brain. It remembers your goals, tracks your habits, helps you prep for interviews, polish your resume, plan your meals, and write your wedding vows. Altman compared it to the early days of the iPhone. When touchscreen smartphones launched, younger users adapted instantly. Older generations, not so much. We're now seeing the same dynamic with generative AI, and that shift is accelerating. Some young users are already connecting multiple AIs together, using one tool to summarize their notes, another to draft essays, a third to analyze calendar habits or suggest weekly goals. Others are layering AI on top of personal CRMs and knowledge graphs, training the model to act as a long-term, evolving personal coach. It's not theoretical, it's already happening. And here's the deeper implication. If this generation treats AI like a trusted co-pilot, the expectations they bring into the workforce, relationships, and society will be fundamentally different. They won't just want software that helps them do things. They'll expect systems that know them, support them, and grow with them. Anything less will feel outdated. In other words, the future of AI may not be about building general intelligence for the world. It may be about building personalized intelligence for each individual life. At the top, we see Meta, one of the most powerful tech companies on the planet, struggling to ship its next-gen model. Billions invested, years of research, and still, the breakthroughs aren't guaranteed. Meanwhile, on the ground, a school in Texas is quietly proving that AI can already outperform traditional education systems with just 2 hours of instruction per day. And between those two extremes, a new generation is showing us what the future might really look like. They're not waiting for polished product launches or perfect models. They're building with what they have, using AI as a daily companion, a personal coach, a second brain. And that may be the most important shift of all, because it means the frontier of AI isn't just technological. It's psychological, it's behavioral, it's cultural. The question now isn't, what can AI do? It's how will we choose to use it? Whether it's guiding a classroom, shaping a career, or helping us think through the biggest questions in our lives, AI is no longer just a tool. It's becoming something much closer to a partner. And if that's true, then the real race isn't between companies. It's between mindsets. See you at Future.